Three Chinese warships off the coast of Australia have just launched a second round of live weapons tests, tens of thousands of kilometres from home. Why is the Chinese Navy here, and should we be worried?
It was a brazen display. Three Chinese warships in formation, unleashing live rounds from one of the vessel's main guns. The ship's in international waters between Australia and New Zealand, about 629 kilometres southeast of Sydney.
It is the first time we've seen this sort of capability come this far south. These are not shipped out on a sightseeing cruise. These are very significant assets with massive firepower.
They're in international waters. It's our right to do that. It's China's right to do that. It's the right of every nation to do that.
The show of force coming just a day after a similar live fire drill sent commercial airlines scrambling to reroute flights across the Tasman. Their only warning, a radio broadcast picked up by pilots on a civil aircraft channel.
Good practice is that normally we would have 24 to 48 hours notice.
Look, I don't think we have a satisfactory answer from China in relation to this.
China's actions, legal. Its agenda, unknown.
We believe it would be appropriate to have been given more warning.
Mild and diplomatic rebukes by the Australian government whenever one of these incidents happen is not deterring the Chinese from doing it again and again and again.
The military drills come in the wake of a Chinese jet dropping flares within 30 metres of an Australian surveillance plane last week.
I think what we've seen from the Prime Minister and his Defence Minister is a pattern of weakness over the last 2 years.
And all you have from the opposition is yelling and screaming. What have they suggested we should do differently? Nothing.
Australia keeping its head down for now.
There has been no danger to Australian assets as a result of this action in China.
But are there rough seas ahead?
Our naval capability, it has reduced. The thing that Australia should be concerned about is that the security situation in the region is rapidly deteriorating.
For people who say we are a long way from anything and nothing could do to us, well, no, it can come to us pretty quickly.
Look, the message that China is trying to send is that they have the ability to deploy to our region and conduct sustained operations. And that's a message that Australia really should heed.
Well, Michael Shoebridge is the founder of Defence and Strategic Policy think tank Strategic Analysis Australia. He joins us now. Michael, what do you think China is trying to do here?
Well, Sarah, China sent these three warships to show that they're dangerous and they can reach now into our local neighbourhood. They want to intimidate our government and our people, and they want to send a message they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. So this is them bringing a bit of the danger and aggression we see from them routinely around Taiwan and in Southeast Asia into our peaceful neighbourhood.
Well, some Australian pilots obviously got quite a shock from this. I want to know just how worried should we be?
Well, we should be worried that the Chinese Navy's aggression is going to get the better of their professionalism. We know that trigger-happy people with surface-to-air missiles can shoot down civilian airliners. The Russians did that with Malaysian Airlines MH17, killing all 298 people on board in 2014. And they did it again in December last year, shooting down an Azerbaijani airliner, killing everyone on board. So the danger to our airliners and the people on them is real. But we should also be worried about China's intent to grow its military presence in our neighbourhood, because that means this kind of dangerous behaviour will happen more and more often.
Michael, in your view, has the Australian government's response been sufficient? Has it been strong enough?
No, they've tangled themselves up in whether it's lawful or unlawful. And the big problem is Mr Albanese and Richard Marles have put so much celebratory effort into saying how they've stabilised their relationship with China that they can't admit that nothing they have done has stopped China being more aggressive towards us and now pushing that aggression into our near region.
So what would be an appropriate response to this? Because obviously I don't think many people here want to go to war with the Chinese Navy. No. What's the appropriate reaction?
Well, I think we've got to drop the pretense that we've got a stable relationship with this growing and aggressive military power. We do have to work with our partners and allies because this is a collective issue for our region. But we've also got to be able to understand what the Chinese are actually doing. We heard for about a week from the Prime Minister and the Defence Minister and our Defence Force that they were watching these warships very closely. It turns out that when the live fire drills happened, they found out about it from the radio broadcast. And after it happened, the head of our military couldn't even tell us if live firing had actually taken place. We need to do better than that.
Michael, it's serious stuff, and I'm scared, I'll be honest. I'm nervous. Do we kind of try to broker a deal with China now? I know they want Taiwan. Do we offer up New Zealand and say, rack off? What do you think?
Well, I think the serious point is we don't want the Chinese military turning our peaceful local neighbourhood with the South Pacific into the kind of dangerous tense place we see around Taiwan and in Southeast Asia. So we need to work with our South Pacific partners and our allies and say this is the reality. If you want to grow Chinese military partnerships, this is what you get. And I think that'll change their mind.
Well handled, Michael. Do you want to apologise to our New Zealand friends?
Yeah, wow.
I'm just saying, don't mess with the big dog, New Zealand.
Michael Shoebridge, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.